Hi, I'm Jamila Clark, and I'm here with Jacques Gourguechon, and we're here to discuss his life and his career in urban planning today. If you could, please tell us about your early childhood and early life. What was your family like, and where did you grow up?
Well, where shall I start? I grew up in Wilmette and Deerfield, so the Chicago suburbs. I've always lived in Chicago. My parents were both immigrants, and that's why I have the name Jacques. My dad was from France. My dad was an entrepreneur, which is an important part of my background, I think. He was in the beauty business, actually. And so he had me cleaning the beauty shops. He had like 7 of them around Chicago.
And what is your educational background, and what were some of your early career goals?
Oh, well, I went to the University of Illinois and then Michigan State University. I graduated from Michigan State with a degree in economics and thought I would go into business. During the time that I was in Michigan State, I went to Europe for just about a year. Definitely got the feeling that the European cities were much more livable, and I think that seed was planted in my mind. I had an elective in my senior year, and I decided to take the Introduction Urban Planning course to find out what urban planning was all about, and that's really what got me started in planning.
You are the co-founder of Camaros.
I am.
Tell us about the firm and its focus, and how did the huge effort come about to get the firm started?
Well, we started the firm in 1976, and the year before that, I had left Barton Ashman and was working in my bedroom for a year, starting this firm. And then my partner, Les Pollock, he joined me, and we started a business after having been at Barton Ashman for about 9 years. And we were only about 32 years old or 33 years old when we started Camaros. Strange name, it's actually the name of one of the Greek colony cities of the League of Athens. And we picked that name because we couldn't name a company after Gourguechon. It was just too difficult to name.
One of the most important things about him is his ethics. When you're working in a professional world, in the business world, you often get challenged by other things. But I got to say that as we often talked through points, one of the first concerns that he would bring up was the ethics of the situation. Is it the right thing to do? That is a very important hallmark of him, his personality, and the way he approaches things.
Over time, we built a business that began really in the Chicago suburbs. We now sell our wares and our services throughout the country. Zoning preserves special places. It conserves neighborhoods that are there. One of the benefits of being a consultant planner is you never stop learning. And each job has some aspect to it that is different and new. For example, in the human investment planning, I had no idea that was even a part of planning. I don't think it was really. The city of Kansas City decided they wanted to address these issues in their big plan that they were doing for the entire city, and asked us to submit a proposal to do it. And we actually made it up as we went along and developed this notion of what human investment planning was all about. That actually won a national award as a Plan of the Year for the APA, which is probably the high point of my career.
He's expanding the boundaries of what planners do and what planners think about. So that's obviously influenced me personally, but also the profession as well.
I've learned so much from Jacques over the years, and I'm really lucky to have spent early days in my career working at Camaros and learning from him. One thing he told me early on was to learn how to write, and I've always remembered that, and it's something that I really did learn how to do and has become a very large part of my career.
He has the capability to walk into a room where he's running a meeting or something, and he takes over the room, and I don't mean that in a bad sense, but he has a great presence, he has great charisma, But at the same time, he's very interested in engaging the people in the room. He's not there to tell them, he's there to listen.
I think Jacques has the ability to handle public meetings very well, and especially when there's a lot of conflict that's going on within the community. And I think Jacques has a temperament that works very well in contentious situations and helps people resolve those issues. And I think that's a very valuable skill. I think what's nice about Jacques, he still is very inquisitive, always interested in learning. We share that together. And I think that spirit is very important.
Now moving on to a little bit about Chaddick. You've been a friend of the Institute for many years. Tell us about your specific involvement and how you've seen it grow over the years.
Well, I always knew about Chaddick, and it came to a point where my involvement in APA was, at least as an officer in the organization, was cut back. It was time for others to take over. So I got to know Joe Sweeterman, and I've been probably working with Chaddick for 20 years now, and I've done a lot of seminars over the years for the working professional.
I don't know how many times we're reviewing award applications for a competition. Then we find out Jacques created the very program that we're evaluating, and he's got to recuse himself from the committee simply because we're in effect evaluating Jacques' work. And that, of course, is a total conflict of interest. So he's great about that.
The strength that he's always brought to this relationship was a leadership strength. One of saying, let's try this. And while I have been trepidatious, I stood up and we marched off in that direction, and most often we succeeded. I'm honored to have that kind of relationship with that man. He's brought me a lot, and he's enriched my life and I believe the lives of others as well.
And so, in closing, personally, what do you look forward to in the upcoming years?
Well, as a matter of fact, I'm developing a new career. I've been in graduate school and am intent on becoming a professional counselor. And I think it relates back to the human investment planning, some of the ideas of working in the mental health field. And so I will be doing that probably beginning next year. I think it's going to be an exciting time for planning as the population changes, as the nature as the immigrant population in this country develops into already a major force now, but it will become even more so. Metropolitan areas are going to be where most people live, and planning in metropolitan areas is now picking up as an increasingly important area of activity. So it's going to be an exciting time for planning.